What's up, party people? Welcome to week 4. DP kids, let's talk about your work this week. So, jumping right in, here is the breakdown of what you're going to be doing. Don't forget about office hours. Show up, please. 10:30 to 11 is your slotted Zoom time. Please show up to at least one of those this week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Or if you're really in a bind, email me and we can set up a one-on-one during work hours. So anytime, usually between like 9:30 to 4 or 5. If you email me at like 6 or 7 p.m., I'll see you tomorrow. So here's the breakdown, steps 1 and 2. It's really kind of steps 1, 2, and 3. Sorry, DP, not sorry. We're working on perspective still. You've got a reflection, some vocabulary, and then we're going to look a little bit more deeply into Uwe Valenkus as our kind of like body of work, non-literary stuff. And if you're wondering why am I doing a lot of stuff with non-literary forms, so we're looking at photographs, we're looking at digital imagery, there is a reason, I promise. Also, side note, Stratford Festival is hosting or showing some of their plays, their filmed plays, for free, and these are incredible works of art. Definitely check it out. Last week was King Lear. I forget what this week is. Macbeth is coming up, which is good and bloody and awesome. So definitely take a look if you want to watch another Shakespeare play. If you like the first one at the beginning of the year and you want more, great place to go look. All right, let's go straight to your turn-in sheet. I'll walk you through this, and then you'll be free to kind of get this done. So funny, May the 4th be with you. Video is tradition, and I'm not sorry if you watch it because it's awesome. And some of you are going to hate it, and I'm okay with that. Your ATL skills that you're focusing on this week are research skills. We're starting to prep for our extended essay. You've got some of that coming up. You will be hearing more from me about that. We've got your supervisors for the most part set up, so that's exciting for us. Don't know if it's exciting for you, but you're going to have help along the way. So if the research is feeling daunting, don't worry, you are not going to be left alone. So this week, we're going to be starting to reflect. Okay, what have we done in the past that's worked with research? What has gone poorly? Think about those times when you might have relied a little too heavily on research for the ideas that you were going to present in a paper. You know, like if you copied and pasted from something into your paper without telling me where it came from, stop that. Anywho, but this is also, in all seriousness, this is a good chance for you to kind of reflect. What has it look like when research has gone really well? What kinds of things did you do? When research has gone really poorly, you know, what could you have done to fix it? Or what did you do to fix it? Half the time when research is going really badly, it's often because our question needs to get tweaked. So think about that in here. You've got some unit vocabulary. I want you to define and memorize these words. Is it possible y'all are going to probably copy it and just paste it to each other? That's fine. I don't care. But what I do care about is whether or not you learn them. So I don't care how the definitions end up on this page. What I do care about is whether or not you can use them in solid academic sentences and know what you're talking about in a couple weeks, because you're probably going to need it for your individual oral. More on that later. This week, we're going to take a little bit less of an analysis on Persepolis. I still want you reading it, but I want to do a real deep dive into Uwe Valenkus because his stuff, I think, really has an emotional quality, and it's something that you could definitely use for your individual oral. And it's something that I think brings out a lot of really amazing aspects about being a human in a developing world versus being in a developed country. So I want you to watch this video by him. And then after you watch it, I'm going to have you talk a little bit about some specific aspects of his art. So you're going to go to, I found one website that shows 23, 24 pieces on one page. And so what I want you to do is I want you to choose 3 to 5 themes that you see in his work that you think cross national borders. What sorts of things is he showing in his art that shows up not just in one country, but in another and in another? All right, so that's what you're looking for. You're looking for some sort of theme that ties them together, some sort of global issue. And then I want you to list the names of the images that you think represent that common theme. Again, email me if you get confused or set up a one-on-one, show up to Zoom. Fantastic. So number 3 is kind of broken into 3 parts. And then finally, I want you to choose one of the pieces that you looked at before that kind of grabbed you, that you connected to a theme. And I want you to do a deep dive on that one image. What aspect of this piece captures the audience attention? Why do you think that is? What elements of the piece connect to the theme? So you have to, like, you know, think about, like, you know, if you've seen any detective movie, they've got their pictures and they have their, you know, the red yarn that's connecting all the pieces, and it shows a relationship on little post-its around, like, oh, this person's connected to this person because of this, and so on and so forth. And that's essentially what you're doing. In this image, he shows this, which makes the audience think, you know, that's what we're building towards. Again, doesn't have to be great sentences, can be bullets if it has to be. If you're really struggling, just do what you can. And then finally, think about, you know, very, very specific small pieces. How does their use of color, the focus, the framing, the imagery, the placement of the objects, you know, are they front and center? Are they to the side? Why do you think the artist made those decisions? You get to be the critic. And it's not whether or not it's good or bad. It's, does it have a message? And if it does, what is that message? And how do you know it's that message? So we're analyzing, we're not evaluating. This is not the time for you to be like, I don't like this. Nobody cares. It's more on what is the artist saying, and can you say something academic and intelligent about it? That's the goal here. So I don't want to see your emails about, like, I don't like it. Cool story, bro. And then 4, we're going to look at style and structure. There's a theme here. The artist Marjane Satrapi has made many choices in depicting her life this way. So this way isn't the way that you see it in the graphic novel. Why? And then the question for the week is, why do you think she chose to just do this in black and white? You know, she's an accomplished artist. You know, this is one method. This is not the only way that she can draw. She can draw and create in so many different art forms, but she chose this one particular way. And I want you to think about, why do you think she did? Why, you know, why are the characters drawn in the way that they are? So think about that. Finally, you probably, if you've been paying attention, have been hearing me start to mention things like the individual oral commentary. Here's the info on it. So I've kind of created this whole shebang. So there's a quick, less than a page, just rundown of what it is. And on that page, there are additional links that you can click to look at the criteria, to look at global issues, because the main thing that you are going to be answering, let's go ahead and just open this up real quick. You're going to be answering the question of, examine the ways in which the global issue of your choice is presented through the content and form of one of the literary works and one of the non-literary works that you have studied. So literary works would be things like our Shakespearean play, so anything from Twelfth Night, A Doll's House, what else? Persepolis, Their Eyes Were Watching God. So those are going to be our literary pieces for the year. You can also pull from what are called non-literary works. So like the images that we're looking at with Ulrika Lenkus. If you want to go and do a deeper dive into the letters that we looked at from Virginia Woolf, or if you go and do that bonus material that I gave you on Beyonce, and if you do that, let me know and we can have a one-on-one or a small group Zoom on it, and I can go more depth with that with you on that topic. So you wouldn't, if you're going to use it for your oral commentary, you don't go into it blind. We are going to do a practice run of this in the next couple of weeks. So you need to start, thinking about what might you say, things like that. And again, if this seems overwhelming, don't worry. We have a month and a half to get ready for this. We've got global issues, the learner portfolio. If you see that, don't panic. It's not a requirement for IB. It's not something that we missed. It's just something that we didn't really have a lot of time for. We did a couple things, but really this is going to be kind of you reflecting on the different types of things that we looked at throughout the year. You have done enough stuff that would count as a learner portfolio, but we didn't have necessarily a formal requirement of it. So think about any of the reflections that you've done, any of the gallery walks that we've done in class, all the talks that we had about A Doll's House, things of that nature. I was going to do a Socratic seminar to practice getting ready for this. And then Corona happened. Insert Cardi B's coronavirus meme right here, because it's, we're doing our best. So this is important. This is your final. And we're going to start preparing for it now. So all of that is there. And all I want you to do is just summarize the requirements in your own words. Do not copy and paste it. write out what you think is required of this so that it shows me that you get it. And then I also included a video of a young girl who did her individual oral commentary last year. And hers is a little different. So they switched the curriculums between last year and this year. So you guys are part of what's called like the First Exams 2021 batch. So you will take your exams during the 2021 cycle. She's in the 2019 cycle, so she has an older version of it. So in her version, she sits down for the first time with a new piece and has to analyze it and present it right then and there. Everything that I've read so far says that that is kind of no longer the case. Instead, you get to kind of choose what you think you are comfortable talking about. So we will have time to help prepare you for that. It's not going to be a, here's your random piece from the year, now analyze it and go. It's going to be something that we're going to be able to practice and work our way into. So hers is different, but she still has a lot of really good strategies. So that's why I included it anyways. And then finally, journal entry, because we are nothing without our health. So we're talking about our social, emotional health, self-management, also one of our ATL skills. This week, we're focusing on meditation in terms of bringing down our anxiety. And I've included one of my favorite free yogis on YouTube. She's probably the yogi that got me into yoga in the first place many years ago, because she was cool and not weird. And I liked that. And I was like, okay, I could do this. So give her a check if you're interested, or if you're like, I ain't about that and you want to do something different. Write about how you're feeling right now, or tell me something funny that happened this week. Something funny you saw. Send me a meme, send me a gift, send me, I don't care. In our house right now, we're prepping for a puppy. So that means that it's been nonstop memes and gifs of dogs doing crazy things. I think we're trying to emotionally prepare for the fact that all of our shoes are probably about to get chewed. RIP shoes. Anyways, and then your homework is you're going to read from the sheep to the key. Next week, we are going to finish Persepolis. So if you want to read ahead, you're more than welcome to. This isn't like a spoiler alert zone. So you're more than welcome to read ahead if you get into it. So this week, you're supposed to stop at page 102. If you want to keep going, you go, Glen Coco. If you want to stop at 102, that's fine too. Everything sounds super sweet. So please make sure that you jump on a Zoom, get this turned in on time. This work only has a 1 week expiration date unless you talk to me and we have an arrangement for an extension. The only late work that I'm still accepting beyond that 1 week cycle is the stuff from when we went home until spring break, just because a lot of us had our own stuff to deal with. We had no rhythm. Everything was getting figured out. So you still get grace period on those things. But now we need to start finding our rhythm again in order to make sure that we are ready for individual oral. And the main reason is I don't want you to show up in your senior year totally overwhelmed by how many things we have to catch up on. So that's why we are trudging ahead. It's so that we are not hating our lives come fall and you're trying to do this and extended essay and everything else. I want to get this out of the way this, at the end of the semester so that we can start whatever next year looks like with a little less chaos and one thing already checked off on our to-do list. Okay? So that is all. Email me, talk to me, keep me updated. Don't ask me what your grade is if you've not turned in every assignment, because that's just rude. And that's all. And if nobody told you today that they love you, remember that I do. A lot. Okay. Bye, guys.